produce? How to produce means they have to decide what kind of factors of the production you have to organize or plan in order to produce the desired goods and services. So, how to arrange those factors of production, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, technology, how to arrange and plan those factors of production to attain the desired output. For whom to produce? Who will be actually getting the benefit of the production? Whatever the goods and services you have produced through the use of those limited resources, actually who will be going to use those products and services? So, for whom to produce and who will be getting the benefit of those products and services? So, these are the three basic economic problems. On the basis of these three basic economic problems, we will try to understand the different economic systems. So, traditional economic system, command economic system, capitalist economic system and mixed economic system. First, we will try to understand the traditional economic system. As the word suggests, traditional economic system is based on customs and traditions, means the knowledge, the ownership and the usage of the resources is being transferred from one generation to another generation. This is basically a traditional economic system. Here the allocation of the resources, the scarce resources which we are talking about, happens according to the customs, values, traditions of the societies. The basic system they follow in exchanging goods and services is barter system, in which if I have one product, another one is having different product. So, we mutually exchange on the mutual negotiation terms. What I have, I give to the other person will give whatever he is having. So, that is basically the barter system, in which they on the mutual negotiation terms, they actually decide on exchange of goods and services, and there is no currency involved, no trade, no money is means the trade is on barter system and no money is involved. It is actually prevalent in different parts of Africa, in tribal societies of India also and Australia. So, what are the advantages of traditional and economic system and disadvantages of traditional economic system? As we are seeing on the slide, that in case of the traditional economic system, the roles of the people in the societies are set. Means, as I have told you, that the transfer of and the knowledge of the economic resources from one generation to another generation is done by customs or beliefs or values or rituals. So, here the economic roles are set. If somebody is having the ownership of one resource, one scarce resource, his generation or his generations to come would be having the ownership of those resources. So, economic roles are set. It is a very predictable system, stable system, but there are disadvantages also, like this. It does not encourage new ideas, because the roles are set. It is passing from one generation to another generation by customs or beliefs, and in that case there is very little scope that new ideas may come for the usage of the resources. The progress, as we can say, these are all the traditional societies. It is basically, it is not they are not progressive in their approach to find out the new usage of the resources or new applications of those resources. Normally, the standard of living is very low in this particular system. So, if we see the basic economic questions, what to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce, in the traditional economic system, what to produce will be decided by the tradition, values and rituals. How it will be produced will also be decided by the tradition, values and rituals, and for whom it will be produced, it will also be decided by the tradition, values and rituals. So, basically this is traditional economic system. So, next is command economy, where the command economy says the ownership of the resources, especially the economic resources, lies with the government. The government decides what to produce, for whom to produce and how to produce. The basic three economic questions are being solved by the government. These kind of command economies exist in North Korea, Cuba and China, where there is very little input from the people, that how the resources should be utilized and what kind of products and services should be produced. Advantages of command economy is that the basic necessities or the basic requirements would be met by the government, like education, public health and other utility services are being provided by the government at very nominal cost. As far as employment is concerned, the resources are being utilized in such a way that all the economic resources are made to be fully utilized by the government so that the production can be done. The disadvantages of a command economy system is that it may not meet the wants of the people, what people actually require, or there is very little scope for innovation, invention, creativity, because it is the government who is deciding about the resources, not the people. No incentives for the people who are performing higher or who are utilizing the resources better or who are actually doing inventions for the society. It requires a large of bureaucratic structure to manage all the resources. So the government machinery is actually making use of all those resources, and it requires bureaucracy to maintain the utilization of those resources. Different ideas are discouraged here, new and different ideas, because it always works on whatever is being in whatever is looking good to the government, or whatever the government may feel right. The resources are utilized accordingly. No room for individuality. So the basic economic questions, again, what is being produced, how is it being produced, and for whom it is being produced. What is being, government decides. How is it being produced, the government will decide, and government will tell people or the producers that how it should be produced and how the different factors of the production should be organized for the production, and for whom is being produced. Again, the government decides the production, the produced goods and services, how it will be distributed among the people of the society. The third economic system is the capitalist or the market economic system. Here the system relies on the choices of the consumers. So basically it is a consumer where the market forces will decide the production of the goods and services. So okay, so the government will decide. So here in this, इसको एक 12 से ले लेते हैं capital. हाँ. So capitalist economic system. Basically the capitalist or market economic system, here the choices made by the consumers will decide the production of the goods and services. So how the resources will be utilized, how they will be produced, or what kind of product and services will be distributed in the market, and for whom it will be distributed in the market will be decided by the demand and supply forces of the market. The capitalist market system existed in United States of America, Canada, South Korea, Singapore, Germany, Great Britain. These are all capitalist economic system. The advantages of a capitalist economic system is that there is a freedom for all, individual freedom to consume and produce goods and services. The government interference in the utilization of the economic resources is minimum, so there is lack or minimum government interference in the production processes. The society has variety to choose from, because the producers in a effort to win consumers, or in an effort to give consumers, attract consumers towards their side, will produce a variety of products and services. So it will actually give society a variety of products and services and high degree of consumer satisfaction, because they will get what they will want. Disadvantage: it only rewards productive people, because only the people who are performing better, only the people who are performing good for the society, they would be rewarded. Workers and businesses face uncertainty due to competition, because there will be competition among the producers to satisfy the consumer demands. So it will lead to a market structure like monopolistic market structure, which each and every producer is trying to produce a good which can satisfy the consumer demand. Not enough public goods, because normally a producer will produce only those products or services in which he or she may get the maximum profit. So all the goods and services which are which may not generate profit for him will not be made by the individual producers. Unemployment: only those people who are performing better, or who are having the skills, knowledge and capabilities to work in a competitive environment will be able to be employed by the people, by the business people. Other resources may remain unemployed. It may sometimes lead to market failure. Market failure means a situation where the market supply and demand forces may not be able to manage the economy. The big three questions: what will be produced? Whatever the consumer wants. How will it be produced? The entrepreneurs will respond to demand. The producers or the entrepreneurs will respond to that demand which the consumer wants. And for whom it will be produced? Whomever is willing to work for it or who afford for it. So basically the production of the goods and services is for the consumers who can afford, have the willingness and ability to purchase those products or services. The last economic system is mixed economic system. Here it is a mix of capitalist and the socialist or the command economic system. Here basically in some aspects or in some on some economic resources the government is having his say, or on some economic resources the producers or the business people or the individuals are having their say. So it is a kind of economic system which involves both the capitalist economic system and the socialist economic system. So here the government is having ownership of some resources, some economic resources, and the individuals are having on the another economic resources. So they both work hand to hand, or they both work in close collaboration with each other to satisfy the consumers. So is the example of a mixed economic system is a country like India, in which there are some resources like electricity, water, railways are in the hands of the government, where the government decides what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. While in other cases like consumer products like toothpaste, soaps, consumer durables like refrigerators, ACs, here the individual producer has a say. He has to decide what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. So this is a kind of economic system which actually where the products which are having the public utility products are basically on those resources the government is having their say, and for the consumer products or the products which the consumer may buy for his or her own satisfaction of the wants, in that case the individuals are having their say. So these are the kinds of economic system which may be adopted by different economies. So in today's class we have understood what is economics all about, why we should study economics. The basic reason why we should study economics is unlimited wants and scarce resources. We have understood some basic terms of the economics like ceteris paribus, rationality, opportunity cost, and the marginal concept. After that we have understood the types of economic analysis: micro versus macro, positive versus normative, static versus dynamic, partial versus general equilibrium analysis. And then we have understood the basic economic problem, that is what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and after that how these basic economic problems are being solved by different economic systems around the globe. So these are the different economic systems. One, traditional economic system which works on the basic customs, values, beliefs. Then second is our socialist economic system or the command economy, in which the government actually have the ownership of the economic resources, and the government decides what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. In a capitalist economic system, the individuals or the private entrepreneurs or the business people are having ownership of resources, and they decide what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. As far as between the socialist and the capitalist economic system, the difference lies in, whereas a socialist economic system works on the traditional methods or on the overall satisfaction of the people, the capitalist economic system works on innovation, invention, new varieties of the product and services to satisfy the consumer demand. And there is one more economic system, that is what is called as mixed economic system, which says that some features of the capitalist economic system should be there and some features of a socialist economic system should be there, and these should be combined for the overall benefit. In some aspects where we are talking about public goods, the government should produce those products and services, and where basically where the consumer wants variety or where the consumer wants maximum satisfaction, basically the individual producer should be there to satisfy those consumer demands. So thank you. This is all from my side. We'll continue this topic in the next session. It is known as normative analysis. Okay, on the basis of the time period, we do short run and long run economic analysis. Now, how it is different, let me explain you. See, there are different factors of production. One is land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, technology. These are different factors of the production. On the basis of that, on the basis of different organizations and different combinations, actually the output will come. But what will happen in the short run, you actually change out of these factors, you can actually accommodate only 2 or 1 factor which actually you can accommodate and change the production levels. In the longer run, you can actually change or vary all the factors of the production to reach the output level at your expectation. So basically in the short run, there are constraints. There are constraints of the resources which you can manage and produce the output. But in the longer run, you have the opportunity to plan it in a way that you can manage all the factors of production to raise your production level for the as per your expectation. Like I would give you a very small example. Like in the short run, if I have to raise my production level, so I can raise from 100 to 110, 120. There is a limit to it because I can change only some things out of these 5 things, right? And out of these 5 factors of the production, I can change some factors, like I can change labor and I can increase the production up to a certain extent. But after that, I can't change the production levels because laborers will work only in the premises and within the specific facilities provided with the machines. So if I can't change the capital, if I can't change the land, if I can't change the basic manufacturing facilities, I can't change the production level. But in case of long run, if I have 5 years time, if I have 3 years of time, in that case I can change each and every factor of production. I can change the land, building, I can change the capital requirement, I can arrange the capital as per my requirements, as per the expectation of my output levels, and I can change the labor and make them skilled and trained too. So in that case, I can change the production as per my requirement. So in the short run, you have more constraints to change the production levels. In the long run, you can change the production level as per your requirement by planning all the resources accordingly. So this is how the time period will affect the economic analysis. Next, equilibrium analysis. So in economics, we do equilibrium analysis. Now, so first we will try to understand what is equilibrium. Equilibrium is a kind of a situation where basically you want to be. So if from the firm's perspective, if we want to see, a firm is in equilibrium when they are utilizing their resources in the in a manner that they are satisfied with the level of output, with the level of revenues, with the level of the sales, with the level of the production capacities they are having, they are satisfied it, right. So that is a kind of a situation where a firm wants to be and doesn't want to change, provided 2 conditions. One, if there is a threat, then only they will change. If they will not change, it will put a survival on their existence. Or if they find an incentive to change, means there is a huge demand in the market, and if they change their production level from that situation to the other situation, it will actually attract more profit. So they will change only when they see an incentive or a threat, otherwise they want to be in that situation. So that situation is called as equilibrium. So in case of the equilibrium analysis also, we do partial equilibrium analysis, general equilibrium analysis. If we are looking at the individual firm equilibrium analysis, it is called as partial equilibrium analysis, individual unit or an individual firm, right. If we are looking for all the industry, all the firms existing in that industry, and if we are doing analysis of all the firms, equilibrium analysis of all the firms in that industry, then it is called as general equilibrium analysis. Then there is static and dynamic equilibrium analysis. Static means if you are analyzing the equilibrium at a particular period of time or a particular point of time, it is called as static equilibrium analysis. And if you are analyzing the equilibrium over a period of time, that how the equilibrium is changing from one period to the another period to the another period, then it is called as dynamic equilibrium analysis. Like if I click a photo with someone that shows my presence at that moment of time with someone, right. So that shows at that point of time I was there with someone, and that photo is the actual proof of that particular moment. But if I shot a video of that particular period, then in that case it will show that from where I have started, from whom I have met at that point of time, to another people I have met at that point of time, to another people I have met at another point of time, how I am moving around, how I am interacting with people. It shows dynamic equilibrium analysis, right? So basically static means at a point of time, whatever the state of the equilibrium of a firm is having, and dynamic equilibrium means during a period of time how the firm is changing its equilibrium from one position to another position is called as dynamic equilibrium analysis. Okay, now let's understand the basic economic problem. Okay. So basic economic problem, we will start with that: unlimited wants, limited resources. So basic economic problem as per the Samuelson is because of the limited resources, and he said that there are three basic economic problems: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. What to produce means the societies or the nations or the people have to decide the various combination of the goods and services that has to be produced with the limited resources. So basically what to produce from those limited resources, what combination of goods and services are going to be produced from those limited resources is deciding what to produce.